Imagine a game from one of the biggest franchises in tactical shooters, hyped at launch with 3 million players, only to vanish almost as quickly as it appeared, with even the developers eventually abandoning the project altogether. Whatever happened to Rainbow Six Extraction? Well, to figure that out, it requires a bit of digging. From my end, it looks like the game only got a peak of a little over 2,000 players, with a concurrent player base in the double digits on Steam, at least. And to make matters worse, it's still the full price of $40 on Steam, $50 for the deluxe edition. What? At this point, you may be wondering, where did it go wrong with this game? And what is it like to play now? And so, of course, I did the most logical thing there was, and, well, I bought it. People seem to enjoy this though. There's like a lot of positive reviews. For those that never bought or played the game, you're gonna want to strap in, because while I personally had some opinions on why this game failed, after actually trying it out for a bit, it turns out it was both better and way worse than I thought. I'll be going through the wreckage that is Extraction, the good, the bad, and well, wait, what the heck is this? When I first loaded into Extraction, besides the aspect ratio being buggy, I was greeted by the cinematics, and there were quite a few of them. Oh, stuff is growing out of the thing. Yucky.
Dude, spoilers.
Oh, sorry. They basically told a story of how an alien parasite was taking over New York, and a response team was gathered to contain the infection. This isn't a complaint though, because honestly, the cinematics are actually really high quality, and they were engaging and pulled me into the story and lore of the game. For those that don't know, the basic premise of Extraction is this. You load into a map to fight off aliens and to complete some objective, such as tracking some nests or planting and defending explosives. Once the objective is completed, you have the choice of extracting or continuing to the next section of the map. Each map has 3 sections, and they get progressively more difficult. So the good. As someone who is just checking this out for the first time in 2024, I feel like I've been seeing worse and worse UI as developers try to jam in more and more things into the game. But in Extraction, the UI is actually pretty nice. You have your different maps to play on, different difficulties, your operators, some basic customizable loadouts, and of course, skins, which we'll get to in a bit. And playing the game though, it's actually not bad. There's a lot of these. Oh my god, oh my god. I got you.
Wait.
Dude, what are you doing? Slow. Extraction is supposed to be the slow, methodical PvE experience. Mod Buddy Boom didn't get that memo.
Wait, why?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, you're dude, you got some nice cake right there, buddy. So as much as I kind of eye rolled and forgot about Extraction when it first came out, there's actually a few really cool mechanics. Like, for example, if you get knocked out, you lose your operator unless your teammate can bring them back to the extraction point. And if there's a situation where both players die, oh, he's not winning. Oh,
Dude,
oh,
how did I die?
then part of the mission in the following run is actually retrieving the MIA operators from this lovely hand tentacled tree thing. And then dumping them into the extraction bin, which honestly was a really pleasant surprise, because even though Extraction is PvE, I feel like it added some stakes to dying. There's other things too, like how health can only be healed between matches, and any health packs you do get give temporary health within raids. This forces you to minimize taking damage as much as possible, and that is something I feel like Extraction actually did really well, adding that extra bit of tension and the need to play carefully. I like it so far.
But like many dead games, I don't think this one deserves its fate. But I think,
dude, we barely played it.
We barely played it, but I mean, it's fun. Like the foundation, this should have probably been a DLC for Rainbow Six. I can't believe this is $40.
Let's play more. Maybe there's more to it.
Yeah, you know what? Hey.
And well, as it would turn out, while I definitely sounded pretty optimistic there's actually quite a bit to unpack on this game's development. You see, Boom mentioned that this should have been a mode within Siege, and funny enough, as it turns out, there was a limited time mode in Siege way back in 2018 called Outbreak that lasted for literally 1 month. It was a PvE mode where operators had to go to New Mexico to investigate infested humans taken over by the parasite. Sound familiar? Well, that's because Extraction Extraction was based off this LTM. Now, honestly, I've got about 3 hours worth of playtime in Siege and never actually got to play Outbreak when it came out, but looking at the old gameplay footage of it, it looked awesome. Where Extraction felt bright and established with the react checkpoints and gear set up in infested areas, Outbreak felt darker, more terrifying, and unknown. The monsters in Outbreak were more creepy and visceral, probably because they're basically infected humans, which look more horrific. Whereas the monsters in Extraction look more abstract and honestly less interesting. In fact, the monster designs in Extraction was what turned me off from the game initially. They just look so generic, featureless, and honestly boring. But at the same time, I'm saying all this from a bird's eye view, wider perspective, right? It's tricky because playing Extraction for the very first time, I did genuinely have a good time playing it at first. Is he coming?
He's coming. He's coming.
Vitals
He's coming.
tomorrow.
Get behind the table. Get behind this table. Get behind this table.
We got him! Take that, elite feral grunt. But in the first few raids I experienced, the gameplay loop was still very exciting and fresh. We were still discovering how different enemies behave, and we were learning how to best complete certain objectives. Like, there was this one mission that required us to destroy a bunch of green nests, but after destroying the first two, we didn't rush the remaining cluster of nests fast enough and got swarmed by enemies. Oh my god! Okay. Will that have meds? Wait, here's a med. Will you grab it? You can heal me. You heal me. Oh, never mind. I need to grab it. Okay. Wait.
Kill the green thing. Kill the green thing.
And the neoplasm?
I went down.
I can get you.
Oh!
That's not right. Shoot him. They're in the room.
I see. Holy sh! However, after a while, the missions start to feel a bit repetitive. For example, it wasn't long until Boom and I ran to the same mission again with taking out the green nests, and this time we just scouted out a pathway to take out the nest quickly before getting swarmed.
All that. Why are you not moving?
I'm alive. That's my decoy. That's my decoy.
Oh my God, dude, I fell for it.
After a while, I started to realize something about what was wrong with Extraction. Because the missions repeated without any real tie-in to the plot of the story, they were starting to feel like chores. Why am I triangulating these seismic stations?
All right, got it. Seismic triangulation complete.
Jesus
Stand by
Christ.
for
Sure
state.
allows our
pretty fun.
scientists nausea for everyone too.
Feels like a mode in Rainbow Six Siege, though, still.
Why are we tracking all those nests? You can leave now.
Scientists just gave you the thumbs up.
A scientist just keep it. Yeah, random scientist. During my playthrough, I was actually very excited to get through the New York City stage and progress enough in the game to unlock San Francisco, the next area. Milestone 7, Milestone 11, Milestone 13, Milestone 16. I wish there was more I wish New York City had way more. There was another pretty high quality cinematic, nice, and my hope was the missions would possibly start getting more varied and actually progress the plot a bit more.
Right there.
Hello
Let's go to
again.
track.
Yep. Back to tracking nests. Now, admittedly, I didn't play through the entirety of the game or anything, but with a quick Google search to look up every available mission, they were pretty much all within the same vein. And to make matters worse, because every incursion you do is a set of 3 missions, because there's only 12 to 13 different mission types, well, if you do the math, you'll start seeing repeating missions pretty quick. I did some digging on the actual development cycle of this game, and I had come across this video by a YouTuber named Kudos, who reported back in February of 2023 that a Ubisoft rep in the Extraction Discord stated, sadly, development for Extraction actually concluded a couple of months ago. Now, doing the math, if the game was released in January of 2022, and the message said a couple of months ago from February of 2023, then that means Ubisoft only developed the game for a year maximum. And yes, while there does seem to be recycled events here and there for the game, Kudos went on to say that Extraction only ever received 2 new operators, 4 reuse events, a few gadgets, and no new maps. One nice thing about the game, though, as sort of a silver lining of sorts, was the skins. No, I'm not kidding. They're actually pretty hype. Oh my god. That's awesome. I think because the game is purely PvE, the devs probably had a lot more creative liberty in making the skins look as flashy and ornate as possible. And of course, there was a typical monetization page of stacks of in-game currency with the equivalent dollar amount. Name a more iconic, like coins with the dollar amount at the bottom.
Yeah.
At this point, you're probably wondering, okay, Candy, if I, for whatever reason, want to get this game and play it now, would I still be able to get a team? Well, even though the Steam numbers are in the double digits, this is isn't a full picture of what the player base is. After all, it is Ubisoft games, so it's available on their platform as well as console with crossplay. I want to test what it was like to play during primetime hours, so I hopped on later that night to see if I can get anyone to fill in, and well, as I waited and waited and waited, I did finally get into a game with random teammates. In fact, I was able to find 2 other teammates pretty consistently across the 3 to 4 games I played that night. And the other players seemed pretty cooperative and not toxic. Well, okay, I honestly can't be sure on that last bit because across the multiple games of testing this with different teams, I never actually got anyone to speak or even text chat back. It's wild to me that Extraction is still going for the $40 price tag in 2024. This game has stopped receiving updates and development. The gameplay, while definitely fun initially, gets a bit stale, and honestly, I'm not too impressed with the design of the monsters. I never bothered finishing the game, which is a shame because I'm a bit of a sci-fi nerd and I love this concept of an anti-terrorist group going head-to-head against a mysterious alien parasite. But I just couldn't get into the repetitiveness of the game, which didn't really feel like it utilized the lore and the story well enough within the missions. And for those reasons, I definitely lost interest by the end of this experiment, and I can see why this game never quite took off. Anyways, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you want to see more of my content, check out this link here.